You think your dog is just being stubborn when they stop listening. But the truth is, their brain may be fighting something invisible, and missing it could cost you precious time. Your dog can't tell you when something's wrong inside their body. So instead, they change. They withdraw. They snap. They stop doing the things they used to love. And most owners brush it off as just a phase. But what if that phase is your dog's only way of screaming for help? The science is clearer than ever. Behavioral changes in dogs aren't random. They're signals. Deep biological distress calls that your vet wishes you knew how to read. And when you understand why, everything changes. Here's the uncomfortable truth most dog owners never hear. Dogs have been domesticated for over 15,000 years, yet we still misread them constantly. We assume their behavior reflects their mood. We think attitude, energy, or laziness explains the shifts we see. But science tells a different story. Research from the University of Helsinki, one of the largest canine behavior studies ever conducted, found that over 70% of dog owners couldn't identify early signs of pain in their own pets. Not because they didn't care, because they didn't know what to look for. Your dog is trying to communicate with you every single day. And right now, you might be missing the most critical messages of their life. So let me show you what science actually discovered about the hidden language of behavioral change. When your dog suddenly stops jumping on the couch, what do you think it means? You probably assume they've finally learned it's not allowed. Or maybe they're getting older, calmer, better behaved. But here's what's really going on. Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior reveals that joint pain is one of the most common reasons dogs suddenly change their movement habits. And most owners never connect the dots. Dr. Dominic D. McCulloch, a veterinary behaviorist at the University of Edinburgh, puts it bluntly. Dogs will sacrifice their own comfort and mobility to maintain their relationship with their owner. The fact that they stop doing something isn't a choice. It's a compromise their body is forcing them to make. Think about that for a second. Your dog might have been suffering for months, jumping on that couch, playing that game, climbing those stairs, while something inside their body was deteriorating. And when they finally couldn't do it anymore, we called it getting old. But it wasn't old. It was pain. Quiet, invisible, devastating pain. This means your dog isn't giving up on you. They're protecting you. They're pushing through. And when they finally stop, it's not rejection, it's surrender. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Now let's talk about what happens inside your dog's brain when something hurts. You've probably noticed your dog becoming more aggressive or irritable out of nowhere, snapping at other dogs, growling at family members, acting like a completely different dog. You assume it's behavioral, a personality shift, maybe dominance, maybe fear. But research in the field of veterinary neurology tells us something remarkable. When dogs experience chronic pain, especially pain in their core body, teeth, or ears, their brain's emotional regulation systems literally change. A 2019 study in the journal Frontiers in Veterinary Science found that dogs with untreated pain showed measurable changes in cortisol levels, amygdala activity, and stress response patterns. Translation: pain doesn't just hurt your dog. It changes who they are. Dr. Zachary Chapman, who led the study, explained it this way. A dog in pain isn't choosing to be aggressive. Their brain is in survival mode. Every interaction becomes a potential threat when your body is screaming at you that something is wrong. This is why vets see it all the time. The sweetest dog suddenly bites after years of gentleness. And the owner is devastated, thinking their dog has changed. But the dog hasn't changed. The dog is hurting. And every snap, every growl, every sudden reactivity might be your dog saying, "Something is very wrong inside me, and I don't know how else to tell you." Wait until you hear what happens to their emotional connection with you. This is the part that changes everything. We've talked about physical pain, but here's the deeper truth science is now revealing. Dogs don't just change their behavior when they hurt. They change their behavior when they feel emotionally disconnected from you. And this is where it gets really interesting. A groundbreaking 2021 study from the University of Arizona's Canine Science Collaboratory found that dogs experience something remarkably close to what we call attachment anxiety. The same emotional response humans have when they feel their bond with someone is threatened. Here's what that looks like in real life. Your dog used to follow you everywhere. Now they hide under the bed. You think they're being distant, independent. Maybe they don't love you as much. But the research shows the opposite is true. When dogs feel a disruption in their attachment to their owner, whether from a new pet, a move, an illness, or even just your schedule change, their behavior shifts to protect themselves from the pain of disconnection. They stop seeking your attention because seeking it and not receiving it is more painful than staying away. They stop responding to commands because the emotional distance makes the old routines feel meaningless. They pull away not because they don't love you, but because loving you from a distance hurts less than loving you and feeling abandoned. Dr. Emily Sanford, who co-authored the study, said something that should shake every dog owner. We found that dogs who showed the strongest attachment to their owners showed the most dramatic behavioral changes when that attachment was disrupted. These aren't detached, independent dogs. These are the most bonded dogs, and they're the ones suffering most. This means when your dog suddenly seems off, when they stop wanting to be near you, when they ignore you, when they seem distant, it's not rejection. It's a cry from their emotional core. Your dog is telling you, something is breaking inside me, and I need you to see me again. But here's what your vet really wants you to understand, and it's the truth that most owners never learn. Your dog was designed by millions of years of evolution to hide weakness. In the wild, a wolf who showed pain became a target. Animals who demonstrated vulnerability didn't survive. So dogs, descended from those survivors, evolved to mask their suffering with extraordinary skill. This means by the time you notice behavioral changes in your dog, something has usually been wrong for weeks, maybe months. Dr. Karen L. Overall, a veterinary behaviorist at the University of Pennsylvania, has spent decades studying this phenomenon. She puts it simply, dogs are conspiratorial about their pain. They'll hide it from you with every tool they have, until they can't anymore. When you finally see it, you're only seeing the tip of an iceberg that's been growing underneath. So when your dog's behavior suddenly shifts, when they stop doing what they love, when they pull away from you, when they seem like a different dog, the question isn't what's wrong with them. The question is, what have they been hiding and for how long? Because your dog isn't trying to frustrate you. Your dog isn't being difficult. Your dog isn't giving up. Your dog is telling you the most important thing they know how to say. Something is wrong, and I need you to help me. So here's what I want you to remember. When your dog changes, they're not rejecting you. They're trusting you. They're using the only language they have to tell you that something needs your attention. Every behavioral shift is a message. Every withdrawal is a plea. Every moment they seem off is an invitation to look closer. Your dog loves you more than you know. And that love shows up not in tail wags and face licks, but in the desperate, quiet ways they try to tell you when they need you most. Now I'm curious, was there a moment when your dog's behavior changed and you later discovered it was something medical? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this changed how you see your dog's behavior, if it opened your eyes to what they're really trying to tell you, share this with someone who needs to hear it. We spend so much time asking what our dogs want from us. Maybe it's time we started listening to what they need. I'll see you in the next one.